Just absolutely wonderful. One of the most important, I feel, still undervalued rookie productions. This is one of these cards that I feel like the universe wants trading cards to be loved. When they made a card like this, the odds of it being, something that the manufacturer would have made by accident, I choose not to believe that. I choose that something conspired to make this card happen. But the fact that Larry Bird and Magic Johnson would be on the same card, rookies that same year, the fact that they'd be so, attractively bookending the design with Dr. J in the middle, just an amazing production. What is making these types of cards so also important from an investment perspective isn't just the demand, but the supply is pitifully small, especially in ultra high grade. You're looking at just a few dozen of Larry Bird, Magic Johnson rookies have ever been awarded Gem Mint designations by all the grading companies combined. One of very few that SGC has ever awarded, and there's reasons for that. This card is just so condition sensitive. Most notably, the print and the centering are attributes that just don't come very nice very often. And even when they're nice, they're rarely nice enough to grade higher than an 8. The print snow, which is so frequently plaguing the backgrounds of these dark regions, is about as absent as you're ever going to see on this particular issue. The print on top of that is very vibrant. The color is bold. This card really pops. Oftentimes you're dealing with issues that are much more subdued, much more bland in how they present. And then the borders and the edges, absolutely crystal clear white print all the way throughout. This thing just glows. It's a gorgeous example of a card which they just don't get printed like this very often. Centering, next thing. So centering is so awful usually with this card, and that takes on a couple different forms. I mean, it's not just the right to left and the top to bottom. You get almost like a cockeyed, centering cut in the way that the cards are not even cut square sometimes. And then also the centering on the perforations. Now, this is not a technical detail that the grading companies all uniformly agree upon, but from an aesthetics perspective, man, it has a lot to do with how the card looks. So for us, when they are dead centered perforations like this, I think it adds a lot of value. This dotted line sometimes can be shifted very much to the right or to the left. I think it adds something of an eyesore, especially to these ultra high grade examples. So when you have cards that are graded 10, the fact that the perforations are centered in combination with the outer periphery being centered, that's why these cards are so rare and high grade. And what we have here has got to be one of the best examples in the world. Even within that Gem Mint designation, there's a lot of 10s out there that just don't look like this. We've studied this card from every angle. Everything is where it needs to be. The corners, the edges, the surfaces, everything are exceptional. It's just a really, really exciting offering of a card which does not look like this very often. As always, good idea to zoom in on the high-res images. You can see just how crisp and well-preserved these corners are. I mean, you can study this again and again. There's anybody that wants to say that they can point out a reason why this card shouldn't be a 10, I'd like to hear it. We've handled a fair number of 10s over the years. This one's got to be one of the best. We've certainly seen some that I would consider inferior. I'd love to see this one stacked up against any of the PSA 10s in the market. I think this one would intimidate a healthy percentage of them. So for those who want the best of the best, absolutely delighted to offer this copy. It far exceeds what is typically seen for the issue and represents a very rare investment opportunity.